So, it is January 19th, 2025, and I have made it to season 7, episode 11 of Grey's Anatomy. We have a lot of ground to cover. That's all I gotta say. Callie in Arizona, they were gonna go to Africa, but then they didn't go to Africa. Well, no. Arizona went to Africa. Callie was like, "Why are you leaving me? Like, this is shitty. Like, I'm upset about like leaving the continent." And Arizona's like, "Well, we're screaming at each other in front of like the entire airport. Like, clearly we're already over." So Callie's miserable. She ends up getting her job back at the hospital. She sleeps with Mark because apparently that's what you do when you're getting over somebody in this world. You sleep with Mark. And Arizona came back. And Arizona's like, "Oh my God, Callie, love me again." And Callie's like, "Go the fuck away." Arizona keeps trying and trying and trying. And then Callie just dropped the bomb. "Hey, I'm pregnant with Mark's baby. You want to talk about forgiveness? You want to talk about working this out now?" And I was like, "Ooh, ooh." Honestly, that sucks for Meredith because Meredith is trying to get pregnant with Derek and it's just not working out for her. She took 10 pregnancy tests in like a day and she's not pregnant. Meanwhile, Callie, she has one hookup with Mark, or like a couple hookups with Mark from what I could tell. And she's pregnant. Lexie, girl, what is you doing? You were doing so well. You were recovering from your psychotic break. You were dealing with all of that stuff. And now you're dating Mark again. Mark is still an old ass man. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. I think maybe if I had watched the show when I was younger and I wasn't acutely aware of how fucking young 24, 25 is, I think at that point I would be a little bit more amenable to Lexi and Mark. But no, I'm just like, ugh, she's 24, 25 years old and you are an old ass man. Let me do some math here. So if Lexi is 24, 25 during like, I guess like the season 7, season 1 came out in 2004, 2005, season 7 would be 2011. So 2011, I was 21. So, and Lexi being 24, 25, she would be born in like 87, 88. No, absolutely not. Mark is way too old for her. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Ugh. Alex is single again. He's doing what I think he's just focusing on his career. He's been fighting with the new Peds guy, the guy who replaced Arizona, and Arizona is clearly better at her job than this guy. Arizona's back now because she left Malawi, and he was just really, really terrible. That Peds guy who replaced her. So I'm glad that Alex was able to assert himself as a really good doctor, like a better doctor than that guy. And they were able to save that girl's leg. They were able to do a lot of things that I think that Dr. Stark would not have allowed them to do. So good for them. There's a lot to cover, man. Like my head hurts. Christina actually quit being a doctor for a while. And she was getting intervention by like Owen, by Meredith, by Teddy, by everybody. And Derek was actually like, might have been the best guy for this job because he was legit just like, "I'm not going to push you to come back because I've been in this situation before where something bad happened and I didn't want to come back to work and everybody pushed me and that wasn't the right thing to do. So I'm not going to push you. I'm going to talk to you about like remodeling your house. I'm going to take you fishing. I'm going to stand there and be there for you." And this is honestly best Derek, like season 7 Derek, where he's telling Meredith not to worry about them not getting pregnant right away. He's telling Christina that she doesn't have to be ready to go back to work right now. Like, ugh, do I like Derek Shepherd now? Do I like him? No, he's still dirty, but like he's come a very long way from, the asshole dude from season 1, season 2, definitely season 5. Season 5 was worse, Derek. Teddy just got married. She married one of the patients. I think we have like a new Denny Duquette situation on our hands because I was watching Grey's Anatomy, minding my own business, and I was like, "Agent Jake Ballard? What are you doing here, Agent Jake Ballard?" And it turns out Jake Ballard doesn't have any insurance. Henry, his name is Henry. And Teddy was like, "Well, I'm gonna marry you so you can use my insurance." And everyone was like, Teddy girl, what is you doing? Henry had surgery and they had to take out like a couple more organs than they were expecting. He doesn't have like all of his pancreas anymore, so he's actually diabetic. And they asked Teddy, "You're his wife, is he gonna be okay being a diabetic now for the rest of his life?" And Teddy's like, I met this dude like 3 days ago. And they're like, "Well, you married him, you dumb bitch." But she eventually gives him the go ahead, like, do whatever you think is best, because she's a cardio surgeon. This is not her field. And Richard even says something like that. He's like, "I have to go and ask my heart surgeon whether I can take out this guy's kidney because she married him. What the fuck are you doing, Teddy?" So it looks like it's like a marriage of convenience, but they're definitely going to fall in love because this is fucking Grey's Anatomy. This is like what happens. My thing is that I hope it goes a little bit better than the Denny Duquette situation. It feels like they were looking for a way to make Denny Duquette happen again, but without making Teddy go completely off the rails. So like, all right, like, fine. It's cool to see it's cool to see Jake Ballard. It's cool to see all the scandal people, because like Ellis Gray is scandal, Thatcher Gray is scandal. James from Scandal was one of the patient's boyfriends or whatever. So I've like, it's been really cool seeing people from other Shonda shows end up on Grey's Anatomy. So that's been pretty fun. So I'm rooting for patient Jake Ballard. There's definitely something bleak about this season. It feels like it's gonna get a lot worse, because I don't know how it gets worse than the season 6 finale, but this just feels like a season of like recovery, certainly. So hopefully they're like turning the corner now, but I feel it's gonna get worse, because I know from what the TikTok comments said, it's season 5 is bad, season 6 is sad, and season 8 is really bad. So I guess season 7 is kind of like a nice little interlude. Like we get Jake Ballard, we get, you know, a feel good doctor falls in love with patient story again. They're doing like some other stuff. I guess we're gonna have a resident and an attending sleeping with an intern again. Are we getting any more interns? There's like the 4th year residents of like Meredith, April, Jackson, all those guys. And then there's Lexie, who's like the year under them. But I feel like Lexie, it's just her. When they fired everybody for the merger, did they get rid of everybody in Lexie's year? Is Lexie like really alone? Like, what is going on here? That's all I can think about really off the top of my head. It just kind of feels like where I stopped off, there's a lot of different things about to happen. Like Callie's pregnant with Mark's baby. That is going to, oh my God, that's going to devastate Lexie, because Lexie was saying, hey, like, I know we're in like different life arenas and all that. And Mark's like, I love you anyway. And now he's going to have to tell her eventually that Callie is pregnant. And Lexie's gonna be all over again. Oh my God, Lexie, run away from the old ass man. Girls out there, if you can hear me, if there is an attractive older man at your job, do not fuck that man. Just don't fuck him. Just don't do it. It's just gonna cause a lot more problems than it solves. I hope that this format, like on YouTube, kind of like the same thing that I was doing on TikTok from here on YouTube. I hope that that it translates a little. I hope that this translates. I hope that this is watchable once I edit it and post it and all of that. And I am looking forward to catching up with y'all on Grey's Anatomy, and season 7 was wild, y'all.